YouTube, Brian Phillips coming back with another garbage bag. We're gonna open this thing today. I'm just gonna apologize right now. I have a very deadly virus, also known as a cold. So we're gonna hopefully survive through this. Ooh, what is this little thing? That's pretty fancy. It's by Eachine, the E010. 2.4 gigahertz, 6-axis gyro drone, okay? One press automatic return. I don't know what that means, but it's really small. So I'm kind of curious to see how this thing turns out. There's all sorts of things on Banggood that are weird. There's things that are really weird too, if you keep looking. I will not be doing reviews on everything on Banggood because some of them would not be allowed on YouTube. But I think this thing's allowed on YouTube. Sweet, nice packaging. Doesn't seem to be damaged at all. Looks almost like the Inductrix, if you ask me. Okay, looks like it uses the, it even has the micro, oh, nope, that's not the micro pH connector. That's a Hextronic style. I don't know what size this is. 150 milliamp hours at 30C. All right, let's see what type of charger we get with this thing. Comes with these little tiny controllers, which you're probably thinking to yourself, that thing is so small. Well, you know what's nice about small? You can stick it wherever you want. Okay, what do we have here? The Eachine, I don't think that's in English. There's English, okay. Is that Dutch? German. German, thank you. English manual. Headless mode? What? That's right in time for Halloween. Why does it fold this way? Oh my goodness. All right, so this looks interesting. I don't really care to read this. My camera crew is really good at reading. Okay, supposed to come with a charging wire. That was the next thing I was gonna look for. Oh, it's in the bag, guys. There it is. So you do have to provide your own USB port for charging, but you don't necessarily have to provide your own charger. So this is nice if you guys don't have access to a charger, which of course I have a million chargers. So real quick, we'll take a moment and show you how this works. It does come with spare props, looks like 4 of them. These things you'll notice if you look really close, they're not the same, okay? They all have kind of a different shape. Well, they don't all, there's 2 different styles. See how these ones, if I lay this on top of it, you see how they're pointed the different directions? So this one's gonna pull up when it spins counterclockwise, and when this one spins clockwise, it's gonna pull up, okay? So they are different, and I'm looking for the identifier mark. There's usually a marking like A or B. To be honest with you, I don't see anything on there. It might be there, and maybe I'm just missing it. But at any rate, when and if you crash this and they pop off, which they tend to like to do that, you'll just wanna hold it in your hand and give a little bit of throttle, and if it pushes the air the wrong way, then you know you put the wrong propeller on there. It'll probably sound a little bit different too. So that's nice that it comes with 4 of those. The packaging is real concise. You could keep that, you could store this for traveling, which would be nice. Of course, something this small and simple doesn't really need much. And we're actually gonna plug this into probably the power supply, and we'll see how it does. Okay, so this is obviously not gonna be the charger that your average guy uses, or excuse me, your average little drone operator is gonna use. This has got a red light that turns on, and then when you plug in the battery, the red light goes out. So presumably when the charge is complete, then the red light will go back off. Let's just look in the drawer of chargers. All right, we have a few different chargers here. This is one that's from Spectrum, and it has the same style of plug. So that one, yep, that one would work. And then we also have this one. So there's 2 of these. I've reviewed these. This is the part number. You can get that from the Smart Accessories link on my description there. I think I'm going to use this one because it does have the connector. So let's see, because we can set the time and make it go a lot quicker. Yep, that's a pH 2.0. Okay, cool. So that'll work. So we just got to plug that into the wall outlet. Obviously, if you don't have that, you can still charge with the provided charge cable, but it's going to take quite a bit longer. So plug it in here. This is a 150 milliamp hour LiPo. So I'm going to go to, that would be 1.5 amp hours. Okay. And then that's going to start charging. So it's at about about 4.01 volts per cell. And in this case, it's only one cell. So that's what 1S means. One cell in series. And we're up to 4.04. So that should be charged in no time. So let's figure out our batteries in the transmitter. Obviously, if you guys are getting this for your, your kids or your significant other or whatever, for a Christmas gift, order soon, because this stuff does ship. Sometimes it ships from a Chinese warehouse, and sometimes it ships from like a, I'm just gonna call it West Coast, because they have a couple of different warehouses. And sometimes they are stateside, so you'll get them in a few weeks or a week. And then other times they're coming straight from China, and so you do have a little bit longer shipping time. So I can't read this instruction manual. Extra battery for free. Okay, I guess there's something about doing a review. Okay, so we can eliminate those. In here, looks like we use 2 AA batteries. So we're gonna go ahead and get some AA's and come right back. All right, so we got 2 regular AA's here. Spring goes to the flat side, and then the little bump goes to the other bump side, okay? So spring, spring. Okay, so then you can turn this on. There's a small red light that comes on. There's a very small beeper in there that you can hear when you turn it on. I don't know if you guys can hear that from my lapel mic. And it looks like our charger is getting pretty close to being done. Looks like we're at 4.2 volts. So 4.2 volts here. Okay, so this one could go for a few more minutes, I'm sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. There was 23 milliamp hours that went into this pack. It's 150 milliamp hours. It's a 30C pack. It looks like a pretty decent little battery, but it is small. And as a result, I've only got 1 or 2 that are this size. So let's go ahead and turn on the transmitter. Rule of thumb, unless otherwise indicated in the manuals, and some of these things do operate a little bit different, particularly some of the planes. Generally, you want to have your transmitter on first, but not always, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I don't see a power switch. Okay, so I plugged it in and I let it down. So it's flashing. So I don't know if I have to turn this on now. All the way up, all the way down. Okay, all the way up, all the way down. So then it's just as easy as that. It's already working. Okay, so the way this works, we'll stand this way so that the camera crew and I can kind of be in the same orientation. So this is throttle. So you can see it just kind of stabilizes itself. And then this tips it left and this tips it right, okay? Been a while since I've flown one of these little quads. Try not to get your fingers in here, obviously, because you're gonna chop your fingers up pretty good. So this is gonna yaw the aircraft. So when you move it to the left, it's gonna rotate like this. And when you move it to the right, it's gonna rotate like this, just like an airplane would. And then when you tip it, that's gonna move as though the ailerons on the airplane were gonna tip, and then the airplane was gonna tip. And then when you push forward, it's gonna make the nose go down, which is gonna subsequently make you fly forward. And when you pull back, it's gonna make you fly backward, okay? So, you have to be a little bit Johnny on the spot with your throttle management, because there's kind of a finite point where it wants to fall. Okay, so there's your left, there's your right, there's your back, there's your forward. And then of course you can yaw the aircraft, and then you can make it go into circles just by kind of moving the sticks the same way, like this. And then you can go the other way. And it's very stable. We've got a fan on in the room. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a pretty huge fan. And if you just kind of look up there, It's handling the turbulence just fine. It's not on a high setting right now. We can turn it up here in a minute. See, it's wanting to kind of follow the direction of the fan blades. Very predictable. About the only thing I'm finding a little bit undesirable is that there's such a finite period of, you know, the throw on that stick where it wants to get up in the air and gain altitude and where it wants to drop. That's not a bad thing though, because when you get more experience, then you can go up and down quicker. Some of these cheap entry level toy grade quads are going to basically almost not let you drop it down. So that makes for a frustrating experience, especially when you want to do more advanced maneuvering. So now there's supposed to be a one-touch return to home button. I'm not sure what that means, or return button. I think what that's supposed to do is if you're flying away from yourself, in this case the red light is at the tail of the aircraft, and then the blue is at the front of the aircraft. So as you're flying away, I believe it just comes back. So we're going to test that theory. Now that's all relative to how you turn it on. Okay, so we turn it on. Was it here or was it here? I don't know, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to just fly away from me a little bit. Okay, so I've got it hovering. Now I'm going to fly away from me. And I press the button and nothing happens. But I think you have to set that, don't you, camera crew?
The directions are super good.
They're not very clear. Let's see if we can look at them together. First of all, I'll land here. It's been a while since I've flown a quad, but okay, so the instructions are actually not as horrible as some.
I think it's this part.
It's called the headless mode? No, I don't think that's it. It's the return, one button return. So what we'll do is we will pause it and we'll show you the screen when we get it figured out. Okay, so I didn't figure out the answer to my question, but I did figure out how to do flips. They call it a right rod. I don't know why they call it that. This is actually a trigger, in my opinion. Okay, so bring it up to an altitude that's sufficient for recovery. Press the button. See, I didn't have enough height. Okay. You can go any direction, and there's going to be some directions where recovery is faster. You can flip forward, you can flip backwards, you can flip left, and you can flip right. So let's show the people at home on the sticks, camera crew. Basically, you press the trigger button. Oh, we've got a flashy light. I wonder if that means I'm running out of battery. Okay, so you press the Yeah, I think that must be a low voltage warning. Okay, so let's see if we can bring it back. You see how they're both flashing there, camera crew? Red and blue are both flashing. Okay, so we've got it landed. See what's happening? So I wonder if that means we're about out of battery. Now, keep in mind, folks, we started this process without being 100% charged. Okay, so I don't want you to discount the product because it feels like it's pretty warm. So it's not hot. So we're going to plug this in and charge it again. It's a 30C pack, 150 milliamps is going to burn pretty quick. So we'll come right back. All right, guys, so when you put your battery in, you'll notice it flashes fast like this. Also make sure your lead gets pushed up so that the 4 motor mounts touch the table or whatever surface you're starting from. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on all the way up and all the way down, and then it goes solid. That means you're ready. So if your gyroscope gets out of calibration, or collaboration, if you read the manual, you basically have to hold the right stick down like this, and then it just resets, okay? So then when you fly, hypothetically, it will be reset, okay? So just to show you that this will reset, okay? So now it's reset, or it's trying to reset. See how it's flashing? So I put it in an angle. Now I let it down and now it's reset. See how it's at an angle? It's at an angle. That's because I intentionally recalibrated it wrong. Okay? So now I can fix that by just putting it on a flat surface, holding the stick down, and then it's going to do it. I accidentally bumped this trigger. I hope that didn't screw it up. Nope, it didn't. See, it works great now. So this thing flies pretty good. There's also another mode called headless mode. And the headless mode, which I think it's supposed to say like heading hold or something like that. I don't know. Headless mode is you can enter it by pressing this button at any time. So we'll just do that. So now I'm in headless mode, whatever that means. It's the first time I crashed into myself all day. So basically, I think what that does is that I don't really understand what difference there is, but there's 2 beeps. So that's full stick, full stick, full stick. Now I'm gonna go, there's full stick, full stick, full stick. So basically it's like high rate mode, okay? So there's high rate mode, high rate mode, high rate mode, high rate mode, and then the low rate mode. So headless mode means like, I don't know where they come up with this terminology, but it means when you give it a full input, then it moves further, okay? It's allowed to go further. And then there was one other mode that we were talking about, camera crew, do you remember what it is?
Well, there's still that like return to home key or something.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a return. It says 1 key return, which is right here. This key supposedly does that. So I'm not sure. Holy crappers, that was kind of scary. It started moving. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna reset this. We're gonna turn the power off. So it did something that time. Okay, so that's off. We're gonna start from scratch. Everything is off. Okay, so there it is. On, up, down. Okay, now I believe you have to reset the gyro. Okay, so I just reset the gyro, and I believe that activates the one-touch return. So if I'm flying along and I want the one touch to do something, I think this will bring it back toward me. Yep, it does. But it didn't come back toward me. I think it just goes and it just keeps going. So we're gonna try that now. Whoa, see, there it goes. The idea is if you have a flyaway where this gets farther away, then you press that button and it just comes back toward you, okay? I don't know how to stop that process. Okay, it stopped already, so let's see what happens. So you don't know what direction, you're disoriented. Let's see what happens. Oh, cool. Now I'm catching it and I'm shutting the throttle off, but I'm curious what it'll do if I don't do that, okay? So let's get it all manipulated and do some flips and stuff. I'm waiting for the flashy light to stop. I'm just gonna do this and reset the gyro. Okay? So here, we'll get up here, we'll do some turning around, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, I don't remember which direction home is. Okay? So now I can just press that button. That's so bizarre. I had to fly it or it was gonna run in the wall. So the idea is if it gets away from you, the one-touch return, it can tell whatever heading that you would have been coming from, okay? Which, again, if you have the presence of mind as a new pilot to press that random button, then you're better than I would have been. So the other thing is this type of quad is not exactly gonna be, you know, just only flown outside, okay? The other thing is what happens when you have an obstruction. Then of course you're gonna hit the obstruction because it doesn't know what's in front of it. This thing is pretty easy to fly though. My camera crew could even fly it, but she's not going to. And then of course the flips are pretty awesome. Oh, I'm in low voltage now. Let's see if return to home works when you're in low voltage. Low voltage meaning it flashes the light. Okay, return to home. There we go. I mean, it kind of brings it close. It's not like the exact position, but it's pretty close.
You can't come like nicely land on your counter.
It's not gonna land on your counter. Now, if you're out playing and the wind blows it away from you and you give it that one touch, then it should hypothetically come back. But you have to remember a couple of things. First of all, this machine is only designed to tip so much in high rate or low rate, okay? It's gonna tip so much. If the wind is stronger than the full speed that you can see it going, then it's going to get pulled away from you. So you probably don't want to fly in that high of a wind condition. Secondly, keep in mind this is not an airplane. I usually do mostly airplanes on the channel, but I do other flying aircraft too. This thing is pretty easy to fly. This would definitely be a fun toy for your kids. It's reasonably inexpensive too. About the only thing that I don't like about it right now is just the fact that the battery is maybe a little bit small. I did not get it to 100% charge on either of these two charging sequences. I just wanted to show you guys the features. It does fly good. It's very easy to fly. The blades have been well protected in these ducted fans, so that's really nice. And they actually they improve the efficiency just a little bit. That hypothetically, that's what ducted fans do. This is called a ducted fan since it's actually got a housing around it. So honestly, I like it a lot. It's not really heavy. Obviously, you don't have to worry about drone registry in the United States because this is well under the 250 grams. And I would say that it's a great little gift idea. So like I said, if you're gonna get one now. Don't wait, because it takes time to get stuff. Everything right now with Corona has been super delayed, and stuff that would normally take a couple of weeks reliably is taking 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So you need to order stuff now if you're wanting to get a little toy like this for cheap. And please do, this is a fun one. We'll link to this one. It'll be down in the description below. And then obviously we have lots of other items that you can use as gift ideas. And if you're interested in any of those items, click on the link. It'll take you to the point of purchase, but you can also look in my playlists and the videos on our channel. Now there's thousands of them. So if you're searching for a particular plane, go to the playlist and scroll through the playlist. I organize all these aircraft by aircraft, not by style or whatever. I mean, there's a few in there. But generally speaking, if you want to find this particular aircraft and you want to see what I had to say about it, then you would go in there and you would have to know it by name, or you can scroll through and see the thumbnail. So that's my tip of the day today. Come back for more. We got tons in the pipeline. We can't wait to share them with you. You guys are the best audience on YouTube. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Come back for more.